Hey, how's it going? My name is Reg from Aver Reg Guy. Basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to look at my Apollo, but I do want to just show you here with the career mode. I've done 25 of the 33 different achievements, and I've got, $920 million. So hopefully when they extend the ability to do the career mode, I'd be able to use that for something. So it's nice to have a few bucks sitting around. Okay, so I'm going to show you my rocket I've been working on. And this one is, let's see if I can bring it up here. I do have a SpaceX I'm working on. There it is, Apollo Reg. So this is my version of an Apollo rocket. I'm trying to fit it into the normal build space here. It's got a 1.66 thrust ratio. It's got multiple stages. Up in the top here, it's got my little lunar lander sitting right in here. Where's my pointer? Sitting right in here. So we'll take her up, have a look at what she does here. So it doesn't look anywhere as nice as what some people have, but I like it. So let's throttle up and get going. So we're off to the moon, right? It's Apollo. So success would be to the moon and back. So first stage will get us up there. Second stage should get us into orbit. And then off we go. Takes a bit to turn this thing. But the important thing to remember is it takes a little bit to stop turning this thing too. So okay, so we're just going to try to get some motion here. Okay, get ready for staging. I give it a little bit of time to come up before I hit the engines on. There we go. So we've staged and we're trying to push to orbit. Okay, so we have low Earth orbit. Part 1. Part 2, go to the moon. Okay, so now we reverse thrust to build orbit. Okay, so we have a low moon orbit. I'm just going to bring in a little bit more. (19.4 and 19.6). Okay, we'll adjust it later, but that gives us something that we can work with. So let's take a look at our, so we have 30% left here. So I'm just going to make sure everybody is topped up. And they are. And it's kind of sad to see that one go away, but to do what we're going to need to do, we will need to do that. So I just got to try to get my process here that I need to do. Okay, so pop this one. And there he is. Here's my little drone. So I'm just gonna disconnect. There we go. Okay, so switch to this one. Oops. So if you go by what it did, that was almost a. By what they did, they went, they grabbed this guy by the nose. There we go. So he docked up with him. And when we go down, we are going to eventually come back and land with that guy in the backside there. So we can end up going back to Earth. Okay. And we're going to get this to the point that we can land with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the big guy and just take him down a little bit more. That's this whole big setup we've got here. Just to make him easier to get back to. Just getting it somewhere around 10. And I could just use thrusters on this, but we'll do it. The reason I'm trying to position it right around 10 is so when we go to get back off, one, I don't have to go as far, and two, let's get this positioned here. Wow, that came up quite a bit. $10.1, I can live with that. Okay, we want to be able to find it again, right? So it's going to be circling around 10. So just make sure he's full. Yep. And we'll leave those two alone for now. And we're just going to hit this guy. Where's the moon? Right there. We're going down somewhere near the Sea of Serenity. Notice I sometimes have to tap it to get the thrusters to stop, which is a nasty way of burning up fuel. There we go. And there it is. Sea of Serenity. So it took a little bit of time, but it's there. So now let's take a look at where our rocket is. Nope, that's just junk. So let's get rid of that one. There it is. So it's sitting at about, so we're a sea of Serenity, so we're going to let it go around. So it's at 999.5 and 10. 10 and 10. There's a lucky touch. Okay, so let's take it around. So it's in about a good spot. And I'm really just estimating here how much I'm going to need. There he is. So 10 kilometers is where we want to go. So let's get off the ground. Like I say, I sometimes need to touch it so that it stops the thrusters. There we go. So we're looking for a 10-kilometer height. It's still coming around. I do know we have to get some speed going too, so we get orbit. So I'm going to start firing it up. Okay, so we got a really high orbit on one side and a really low orbit on the other side. That's just because I'm not a pro at this. So we're going to lower the orbit a little bit on this side, or on the other side. Okay. Make sure the thrusters aren't going. See what I mean? Stupid things. Okay, so I'm just going to let it cruise around over to the other side. There, 10 and 10.1. Now I'm going a little bit higher orbit than what it's going, because it's at 10 and 10, so that means it will eventually start to catch up with me. Just like I do when I'm trying to do a docking in space. Same sort of concept. No, I could do the old navigate to thing here, but I find it just tends to be more confusing for me than anything. So I'm just going to let this happen. And navigation, and we'll pass some time. Don't see him yet, so I'll just give it a little bit more. It comes fast, though. There it is. You might not be able to see it, but it's right about there. There you go. So I'm going to switch to this guy, just because he's got more fuel and everything. And I'm going to start working my way to this guy. Got it. Okay. Probably not the most efficient way to do it. I'm willing to admit that, but okay. So, this little guy, now, he's only got 6% fuel left, so he worked quite nicely. We're just going to transfer his fuel back into here, because we don't need him anymore. We can say goodbye to him. He was a nice little lunar lander. Did its job. Wait for the people to transfer across. Okay, now we can disconnect him and leave him. But you got to do the thing of actually connecting, right? Because, oops. He goes, no, don't leave me. Okay. Goodbye. And let's go home. So, navigate to Earth. I figured I couldn't build a lunar or Apollo without actually doing a complete trip for it, so that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, let's just see where everybody is. Yeah, he's wandered off far enough, so that's good. Just watching for a second to see if the other guy comes into play. Okay, I swung around the moon one more time because I didn't quite have enough thrust out of this little guy to slow it down enough. So we're just going to finish it off here. Okay, so we have a lower Earth orbit. If we take a look, we got tons of fuel. Like, fuel's not an issue with this. I can probably do a Mars mission with this one and have it work fine. Although, getting off of Mars with that little lander might be a bit of an issue, but, you know. Okay, so we can get rid of this backstage. Just going to top up the thrusters on this front stage, or the very last stage here. That's close enough though, yeah. Yeah, let's say goodbye to that. Okay, and then with this little guy, we're going to get ready for coming back in. So, hit the thrusts, and let's build an approach. I want to make it a nice shallow little approach, but with reasonable speed. There we go. Good enough. That's all that guy was needed for. So now we can say thank you very much for your very little use. And let's head her in. So, Apollo mission, made it to the moon, made it back. We're going to call it make it back. So there we go. Apollo mission, made it to the moon, took it down, took the lander back from the moon back up to the rocket, flew back to Earth, and successfully landed. Call it a splashdown. Splash! So there, now we feel appropriate. Okay, and I made it, no problem. So there you go. Just wanted to demonstrate the Apollo rocket that I made. So please subscribe, give it a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Recover. Woo! I made $10 million out of that.